Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and this week's video. So I recently did an acrylic course with the lovely Sarah Britton. I will leave a link to her training academy if anyone else is interested. And these are some of the acrylic nails I did. They were a gorgeous sort of sparkly colour, but I felt like they needed a little something. This was probably my second time ever doing like acrylic nails on myself, so please be kind. My shaping on some of them isn't perfect. But anyway, I've got these gorgeous decals from Print by Example. My discount code is on screen so you can save 10% off all orders over £40. But they are really pretty and I thought they'd look really nice on here. So we're going to do a sort of marble-esque look. I'm going to need some white gel polish for this. I'm also using stuff from Phoenix, discount code on screen so you can save money there. And you're going to need two brushes. So I've just got a fine liner and a sort of round flat one. And this is going to just help us do the design. So I'm just going to apply some no wipe top coat over to this nail. You don't need a huge amount, a fairly thin layer works, and this is going to help our gel polish bloom and create that gorgeous marbly look. I kind of wanted this to have like a vintage feel to it. I don't know whether it is very vintagey, but I just think golds and these floral butterflies are a bit vintagey. So anyway, on this old brush, and it is really old, I've got some white gel polish. And I'm just going to kind of float it through that top coat. I don't press too hard. And it kind of, I guess, is a little bit of like a rose quartzy, marbly design sort of thing. You can see that the nail underneath the acrylic is a bit sparkly. So I think it kind of all ties in quite well. But I'm just kind of dragging this through, creating little veins. You can do it however way you want. This is just kind of how I do it. I then take my fine liner and I just run it through some of the areas where I want there to be more little veins, feather out where I think it's a little bit too much. And you can see where the lines just start to bloom out slightly. I'm not going to worry about that bigger white blob at the top because that's going to be covered by the decal. I'm just trying to get like the rough sort of base in. Once I've played around and I'm happy with it, I give it a flash cure for about 10 seconds just to kind of lock it in place. I'm just going to play around with it until I'm happy with how it looks. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my chrome. It is a gorgeous chrome. It is one of my all-time favourites. It's from Phoenix. Don't know if it's still available, but I'm sure you can find another very similar one. It's like a bronzy, rosy gold sort of colour. So I'm mixing that into some no wipe top coat. I'm then putting a thin layer of no wipe top coat on the nail and not curing. And I'm then going to just kind of place this in the nail. I'm going to have some areas thicker than others. And it's going to kind of be like extra little veins in the design. And I'm just going to kind of place this around wherever I think it should be. Once I'm happy with it, I will cure it in my lamp again, like just a little flash cure. If there is too much on there and you want to feather it out, then just go in with a clean brush and some no wipe top coat and just dab it around and it will do it. You can also create a milky white mixture with some white and some matte and some no wipe top coat, and it will just create more of like a paler, less opaque white. So you can put that on as well and it will just kind of feather it out a little bit, as you can see here. That's what I'm doing on this other nail. So I'm just going to repeat the exact process that I've just done on that first one and I'll be back. Once that's all cured, I'm going to kind of size up the decals that I want to use, and I feel like I'm going to go for these two. They're not too big, but they're not too small, and I feel like it's going to fit fairly neatly in that cuticle area without looking too big. So I'm just going to cut these out, and then I will cut around them very, very close. It's been such a long time since I've done a set of nails on my own yeah, done a video on my own nails. Please excuse how dry my skin is. My eczema has been playing up, and the weather change from being cold to warm hasn't done them any favours. Anyway, so I've cut around it. There is a lot more backing on here, but I'm just trying to make sure I get the right sort of sizing on both of them. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a makeup sponge with some white gel polish and just dab this in the area where I want it to be. And because decals will show up better over a white background. You don't have to do white, but I really wanted the detail to stand out on these, and the decal is going to cover most of the white anyway. So I've cured that in my lamp, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut round my decals as close as I possibly can. Because this is going in the cuticle zone, you really don't want there to be a lot of backing paper. You're going to find it really hard to remove any excess because it is on near the cuticle area. So I'm just trimming them as neat as I can, placing that in the water. Now my go-to trick for decals is to place a little bit of base coat where you want them to be. I've said it before, I am so heavy-handed. I try not to be, but it just doesn't happen. So I often get wrinkles in my decals until I had a go with the base coat. And I don't cure the base coat, I leave it as a wet layer, and it just helps the decal to stick, but you have room to move it wherever you want it to be, and you get very, very limited, if any, creases at all in it. So that's why I like to do that. Once my decal is done, it doesn't take long at all, I take some tweezers and I just dab off the excess water. You don't need too much on there. You don't want it so it's bone dry either. And it will just peel away so easily, just like so. And then just place it where you want it to be. So I'm just going to put it on and then give it a bit of a pat and press. You can see it's moving around, but it's not creasing. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other one as well. Butterfingers and dropping it. Got chrome all over my bit of tissue. And again, I'm just going to maneuver this one where I want it. There's a little bit more white showing on this one, but it's not a problem because we're going to go in with some chrome and finish it up. So once I'm happy with this, I'm not going to cure it yet. I'm going to take my little chrome and top coat mixture on my fine liner again, and I'm just going to put this around my butterfly, and this is to kind of make the butterfly outline it ever so slightly, but also fill in some of that white space that we don't want. You don't need a huge amount, and to be honest, it does blend in really, really nicely. You don't have to do this step. You could do something else if you wanted to, but I just felt this was the best way to kind of add a bit more of the golden chrome to it and tie the design off. Once I've put it on the nails and I'm happy with it, I will then cure this in my lamp for a full cure. Now it's cured, I'm going to go in with my Phoenix No Wipe top coat, and I'm going to put a really nice even layer over this nail. I've done it, you would have seen it in other videos. I will leave links to how I do my decals. But I do it this way, and then I give it a full cure on my lamp, and then I will buff it and remove any of the dust after. So I'm just going to let you watch me put a nice even layer of top coat on, and then I cure this for a minute. As you can see, there is a tiny little raised bit on this nail. I don't want that, so I'm going to go in with a buffer. I use a 180 buffer, and if that isn't doing a good enough job, I will take a 240 file and very, very lightly file it. You don't want to do too much because you can file through your design, but I'm going to do that on both of these nails, and then I will remove all of the dust. all that dust has been removed. My cuticles are looking very, very dry, but we're just going to go in and top coat all of these nails. So I've left my other 3 nails bare, just the sparkly acrylic, and I think it's going to look, I just think it's going to look much nicer. I'm going to top coat these, and you can just see, ignore the dry skin, but just how pretty it is. And it's such a subtle marble, but I just think it makes such a good difference to the design. So I'm going to top coat both of these nails, and then I will give them another cure. Just love how it's turned out. I'm so pleased. So here they are, all top coated. As you can see, those cuticles are very, very dry. So we're going to put some cuticle oil on around the cuticles, and I always do under the hyponychium as well. Under the nail by the hyponychium, just to make sure everything is nice and nourished. I'm going to give that a really good rub in, just to get everything nice and soft again. And then the trick that I found is I take a lint-free pad and I just rub over the nail until it sort of squeaks, and it just brings back that shine. Another tip I have found as well when applying cuticle oil, wait a minute or 2 after you've taken it out of the lamp, and it doesn't dull the shine at all. But yeah, I really love how these have turned out. I will show you how they look in natural light as well, so you can just see all of the details and stuff. I really hope you guys have liked this week's video. Please do let me know if you have any questions. All links to products will be in the description box below. Let me know what you want to see in my next one, and yeah, I will see you all very soon.